Hello guys, GG Racing here, and in today's video we're going to discuss about qualifying in iRacing. This is an exciting topic for me because some of the things that I'm going to show you here I've tried for a couple of weeks right now. I looked on Reddit, on YouTube, and could not find something that is complete, everything put into one piece. So this is the aim of this video, to be a complete overview of qualifying in iRacing, what is the best way to approach it, what things you should avoid, what works, what doesn't work, what is a myth, and so on. So by the end of this video you'll know for sure how to approach it. Stick with me, this will be worth your time. Let's start with the basics first. In iRacing we have 2 laps to set a time in qualifying, and we also have the outlap. So we have a total of 3 laps, but as you already know, if you run into a series that uses slick tires, those slick tires will get up to temperature by lap 5. So the obvious problem here is that we have fewer laps that we ideally need, and the question is, can we warm up the tires in a way that by the last lap in qualifying they will be prepared for our best effort? Is there a way or a tip or something that we can do to maximize the way that we warm up the tires? Okay, let me show you what I've tried. So the very first thing that I tried is something very usual, and you see this in other sims as well, in real life and so on. So by this method you warm up the rear tires and the front tires a bit. You just wave from left to right and use the brake to transfer the weight from the rear to the front tires. The rear tires will lose grip and they will start to slide, and the idea is that in this way they will warm up. But I have bad news for you. I think after iRacing did an update or something like that, this is pretty useless. So I've run multiple tests. I think I've done 20 or 30 laps with the same results. The pressures are the same, so the temperature does not change and the car feels basically the same. Another thing that I tried here was to warm up the front tires. I tried waving like a madman, as you can see, but this as well is completely useless. It doesn't work, you don't need to bother it. Then I tried to run over the curbs. I did it multiple laps to see if I can increase the temperature if I take every curb, and this is as well a myth. It doesn't work, it's completely useless. You don't need to waste time doing any of this because it doesn't work. You won't warm up the tires faster by doing this. A thing that works to warm up the tires but is completely useless is to hold the throttle and the brake at the same time. You will warm up the tires fast, but as you see here, if you do this for a few seconds in qualifying, you will get a black flag notice, as you can see on the right side of the screen, and if you continue to do this you will get disqualified. So this will work, it will increase the temperature in your tires, but it's completely useless since you'll get disqualified for it. Another thing that I tried was to go on a slide on purpose, so to do something like a drift. So here I've tried to warm up the tires by going into a cheeky drift. It works, the temperature will increase, the pressure will increase, but you will see what will happen. So here we see we have the black flag again. If we do one more, we're disqualified. So this is again completely useless. You don't have to try it, it doesn't work. This is not the way to nail your qualifying session. It's the opposite of that. And another thing that I tried that I seen is pretty common on Reddit and YouTube as well is to do a burnout, but we have the black flag again, and if we continue to go slow we'll get disqualified. So all these things are completely useless, you don't have to try them. I've seen them on YouTube, I've seen them on Reddit, people actually recommend doing this, but I tested it plenty of laps and I'm pretty confident that everything that I showed you so far, it's a waste of time. Maybe for 1% it works. If you do it completely in a way that somehow I missed it, feel free to write it in the comment section below if you have a method to do it, but I'm pretty sure that there's not much you can do, since iRacing made that the pressure will be the same by the start of the lap. So it is what it is. But now in the next part of the video I'll show you how to nail the qualifying without all these gimmicks, and how actually you can improve your qualifying times and how can you improve the tires. So there is a way, but the short answer for the question we had in the beginning of the video is no, we don't have a secret way to warm up the tires, but we'll have a method that will get us the best results. So let's see it. So how to nail the perfect qualifying then? Well, we have 3 laps, right? We have the outlap, lap 1 and lap 2. What you need to change your perspective here is about the first 2 laps. You have to see the first 2 laps as just a warm-up for your final lap. That's why it's called a hot lap. So you don't need to push the car to the limit in the first lap to set a time and compete with that time, because more often than not your second lap will always be faster than your first, unless you do a big mistake. So you just need to see the first lap as a warm-up for your second one, and if you see it this way, it means that you know that you need to be cautious and you don't want to crash the car, because that will be a complete disaster. If you crash the car on your first qualifying lap, that means you'll only have 1 lap for your final lap, and that means basically that you will be slower than ideally, and this is not good. And also, if you know this, you will know that in your second lap you don't need to invalidate that lap, because it's actually you won't have a good qualifying if you invalidate the second lap. So in the first 2 laps you try to get a feel of the car and of the track and find the limit, and in the second lap you push but you stay under the limit, and that's basically how you nail the qualifying. In the outlap you don't have to try anything fancy. I just showed you that different things that are common and are just a myth, they don't actually work, or if they do work, what you get from them is not so relevant, so it won't help you that much. But instead, if you view the qualifying from this perspective, you will gain much more, because you will know how to approach it, and that's basically what I wanted to show with this video here. And that's it. Thanks for sticking around. I really hope that this video will help someone. If you liked it, please feel free to subscribe. I really appreciate it. And that's it from my side. I'm out.